The sun set over the small village of Omobran, casting a golden hue on the earth, but Benson's heart was heavy. Years of solitude had etched deep lines into his face, the kind that told of sleepless nights and dreams dashed too soon. Benson had known pain. He had known rejection. For years, he was the quiet man in the corner of the room, the one who never spoke of his past, yet it followed him like an ever-present shadow. His friends, once companions, now kept their distance. The village whispered about him, called him names behind his back, and even his family's eyes spoke of disappointment. Yet all he wanted was to love and be loved in return. But fate, it seemed, had other plans. His first love, Amina, had been everything to him. She was the light in his darkness, the person who made him believe in happy endings. They had dreamed of a life together, but that life was stolen from him in a tragic accident. She had been swept away in a flood during their first year of marriage. The grief had nearly consumed him. It wasn't just the loss of her love, but the loss of the future they were supposed to share. Then came Titi. She was kind, full of laughter, and had a smile that could light up the darkest of days. Benson thought he had found his second chance at happiness. He believed in love again. But that belief was shattered when she fell ill, quickly and unexpectedly. The doctors couldn't help, and she slipped away in his arms, leaving him with nothing but the memory of her warmth. The villagers began to call him cursed, saying that he was the cause of the death of every woman he touched. Even his family distanced themselves from him. His mother, once his pillar of strength, looked at him with eyes filled with regret and fear. His father's stern voice echoed in his mind, telling him to leave the village and save what little dignity was left. But Benson never left. He couldn't. Deep down, there was a flicker of hope that somehow, somewhere, love would find him again. Years passed, and the shame that hung over him like a cloud never lifted. He didn't dare to look for love again, for fear of what it might cost him. Yet life had a way of surprising him when he least expected it. One day, as he walked through the village marketplace, his eyes met hers. Bukola. She was standing by the fruit stall, her laughter like the soft sound of rain, her eyes sparkling with kindness. There was a warmth in her gaze that made his heart race, and for the first time in years, Benson felt something stir within him, a feeling he thought was long gone. They talked, and she smiled in a way that made him forget the weight of his past. She wasn't like the others. She didn't call him cursed. She didn't pity him. She saw him for who he truly was, a man deserving of love despite his past. They spent hours together, and Benson found himself falling for her. Slowly, cautiously, he let her in. She loved him not for the man the village thought he was, but for the man he had become, the one who had suffered, endured, and still had the capacity to love. It wasn't long before they were married. The village watched with curiosity, waiting for the inevitable to happen. The whispers grew louder, but Benson didn't care. He had found a treasure in Bukola, and for the first time in years, he believed he was worthy of happiness. But fate was never far behind. On their wedding night, just as they were settling into their new life together, Bukola fell ill. It was swift, just as it had been with the others. Her body weakened, her breath shallow. Benson stayed by her side, desperate to do anything to save her. The doctors came, but they were powerless. The village's old curse hung over them like a dark omen. As days passed, Bukola's condition worsened, and Benson's heart shattered. He watched the woman he loved slowly slip away from him, and for the first time, he felt the full weight of the curse that had haunted him for so long. Desperation set in. He couldn't lose her. Not again. Then, in the quiet of the night, as he sat beside her bed, something strange happened. Bukola opened her eyes and whispered, "It's not you. It's not the curse. It's the promise." Promise. She had made a vow to him, one that had not been fulfilled. The truth that Benson had never known hit him like a thunderclap. He wasn't cursed. He was part of something much bigger, much more mysterious. The love he had given had been stolen from him, not by fate, but by forces beyond his comprehension. Bukola, in a trembling voice, explained the truth. You were chosen, Benson. Chosen to break the chains of the curse that have bound the women in your bloodline for generations. I knew this when I met you. I was sent to be your wife, but I am bound by something more than just love. I can't stay. Not until the time is right. Benson, heartbroken yet determined, swore to carry out the promise, whatever it took. The very next day, as Bukola's condition worsened, Benson did something he never thought he would do. He lifted her in his arms and carried her. He didn't know how long he would carry her, but he knew that he had to. 7 years. 7 years of carrying her on his back. No one understood. No one saw what he saw. They called him mad. They laughed at his misery. But Benson didn't care. Each step he took was a step closer to breaking the curse that had plagued his family for generations. He carried her with love, with reverence, with the hope that someday, somehow, he would find peace. The years wore on, and the village watched in disbelief as Benson continued. Through storms, through droughts, through sickness, he carried her. He carried her through it all, never once faltering, never once questioning. And when the 7th year arrived, Bukola, now frail but smiling, whispered her final words to him. I love you, and you have broken the curse. You are free. Benson's tears fell as he placed her down for the last time, knowing that she had fulfilled her part of the promise. He had carried her for 7 years, and in doing so, he had carried his family's legacy into the light. It was over. The curse was broken. And Benson, at last, was free to love again. His journey had been long, filled with loss, pain, and unimaginable sacrifices, but he had done what no one thought was possible. He had carried his love through the storm, and now, as the sun rose over Omabaran once more, Benson stood tall, stronger, wiser, and free. And though his heart would always ache for Bukola, he knew that their love had not been in vain. It had been a love that defied the odds, a love that saved him, and a love that would live on forever.